Good evening, Flosstube. It is Thursday the 21st of March 2024. I'm Sarah and you're very welcome to my channel, Sew Me Sarah. Here we chat all about cross stitch, sometimes other needle crafts and fun things that go on in life, in crafting, whatever. Thank you if you're a returning viewer for stopping by again to check out the channel, and thank you very much if you are a new viewer. I hope that you will enjoy your time here on the channel and have a look through some of my previous episodes and maybe even hit the subscribe button if you fancy making sure that you don't miss the next episode. Since the last time that we shared together, it has been really busy here, which is why I'm a little bit late back to you. I had hoped to record last weekend, but that just didn't happen. The time span required to prepare, to gather everything, to set up, to record, to edit, it just wasn't happening, and there was just no peace and quiet at all, and so I just didn't get around to it last weekend. But I'm giving it a go tonight. I have a little bit more limited time, so we'll see how it works out. Hopefully I'll get this uploaded today and on the same date that I'm recording, but it may well be tomorrow if the YouTube uploader is playing ball. We'll be quids in, and if not, as I said, it'll be tomorrow. Thank you for sharing with me the market releases that you were all looking forward to and eagerly awaiting in your pre-orders. It was fun to see what it is that is so popular and loved by us all. I have to say there's a great breadth of what we liked, just judging by my comments, the comments on my channel, and I think that's representative probably of our community as a whole. We all like different things, and sometimes there's one thing that we all really love, but there are other interests that are maybe just a little bit more personal to us. And I think it's wonderful that we have so many designers now who are catering to all of our needs. So I hope that if you have some pre-orders that have already arrived with you or that you're waiting for, that you will really enjoy those, adding them to your stash and planning to stitch them. Maybe you're one of those rare few who has already stitched and finished one or two of your market releases. I know for me that mine are going to be added to stash in the hope of stitching them one day, especially this year where I'm stitching so many new starts and have other plans. Thank you for your appreciation of Charlotte's wolf impersonation last time. She really enjoyed that playing along, and you seem to have enjoyed it too. Thank you for playing along with that and using the word wolf in the giveaway. The giveaway was very popular. There were 128 of you entered for the giveaway using the word wolf, and the giveaway was for this pattern, Le Petit Chaperon Rouge. And this is a Jardin Privé pattern. It's a little snow globe with Little Red Riding Hood in. So just before I pressed record, I did the YouTube random comment picker, and the winner of the giveaway from last time is Cheryl Middleton 2442. So Cheryl, if you can contact me either using the email address in the drop down box below, or I am Sew Me Sarah on Instagram. You can direct message me on Instagram and let me have your mailing address. I will pop this in the post to you. So congratulations, Cheryl. Thank you so much for entering the giveaway and supporting the channel. I have one little thing to show you just before we move on to talk about stitching. You may recall back in January I went to a ceramic class with a friend, and I had shared with you what a nice morning that was, going to that class, and we went and collected some flora, not fauna, flora, and pressed it into some ceramic pieces, and then they were to be we painted them, then they were to be glazed and fired, and we could then pick them up. So last week my friend and I went back to the little clay project store and we picked them up, and these are my pieces. So this is first piece and this is my second piece. Now, I'm a complete novice at this kind of thing, and I feel like I'm slightly disappointed isn't the word, but they're slightly not as I expected them to be. And I think there are a couple of reasons for that. Number one is the colours are different from what I expected. They did tell us at the class that the colours were not like other glazes which do change colour when they're fired, but that these ones were pretty much the colour that they were as we painted them. But I think that they just came out, this one came out a lot stronger than I anticipated. So I've probably been too heavy-handed on my sponge dabbing. And this one has come out murkier and muddier than I expected. I had a lovely green colour, which I probably didn't do heavily enough. And then the pink colour has kind of gone murky in it rather than held any kind of distinction. But hey, I'm new to this. They're not disastrous or anything. They're just not quite as I expected. The other thing I would say about them is I'm generally a less is more kind of girl, and I think I should have stuck with that when I was adding the flora to the ceramic, pressing it in to leave the impressions. So I'll just talk to you about this one. But I think I've added too many layers, and one of the things was at the class, you know, you've got this time, and as I was sitting I put one piece on and I thought that's really nice, it's really pretty just the way it is, but there was another 15 minutes, so what was I, you know, what else was I going to do? So I added more, and I added a little bit here and a little bit there, and I guess it was experimentation, but I probably should have just trusted my own instinct to go for less is more. As I said, not disastrous in any way, and I'm pleased that I had them. It was a fantastic morning, and I'll show you this one again. But yes, I kind of feel like I should have gone for a little bit less. And I've learned my lesson about the painting as well. So, but I think that is the thing. Sometimes we go to a craft class and we make a thing as a one-off, whereas if we were at home, we would be treating these much more as learning pieces, wouldn't we? We would do this one and say, oh, okay, next time I'll do it like this. Next time I'll go a little bit heavier on the green. I'll not mix them just quite so much. This one I'll go a little bit lighter on the sponging. We would practice and we would have different iterations. Whereas when you go to a craft class, I think you want your one project to be perfect first time, and that's not how we learn. So great class, lovely finishes, a little bit different from my expectations, but I promised I would share them with you and show them to you when they come back, so here they are. Okay, let's talk stitching, which is what you're really here for. Okay, I have been trying to keep busy with my needle. It's trickier sometimes than others. Forgive me folks, it is late and I'm tired. So yes, sometimes it's trickier than others to get stitching in, but I'm working at it. I really am working at it. So let me reach for my first piece, which you're well used to by now, the Dimensions O Holy Night Advent Calendar. This one is my daily thread. So one thread a day just before I start whatever else it is I'm going to be stitching on that day. And I'm just trying to keep this one plodding along to a finish, since it has been on the go since 2006, with a bit of a lull, but here I am. Let's see, this one's quite wide. I'm coming down this side, filling in the blue and the stars, and it's actually taking quite a lot longer than I expected. If I turn it around, perhaps you can see that with each thread length, this is about all I'm getting out of a thread length. So I don't really get lots and lots of progress at this stage. Not as much as I thought. I think if I were not doing 50 other starts this year, I would probably make this a bit of a focus now at this point and just push through to get it finished. But by the same token, it can just remain a daily thread for another couple of months, and hopefully it will get there. So that is a little bit of progress on the advent calendar. Thank you for saying you're not bored seeing it. I know you've seen it a lot. Next is the stitch along, which I'm doing with Historical Sampler Company. It's their latest stitch along called All Things Grow with Love. And I have finished part 2, which stops about here. You'll see where that I have stopped for part 2. But part 3 has come out this week, and I have already made a start on it as well. Excuse the hanging threads. I am literally in the middle of stitching the bee's wing, so my needle is down here. And these threads are just, I'm just waiting, they're parked really, waiting for part 4 to release. This is a fabulous SAL. I couldn't love the colours more, really couldn't love them more. So spring-like, fresh and vibrant, and really enjoying it. So I hope if you're stitching along with it that you're enjoying it too. And if you're not stitching along with it and you are interested, the details for the Historical Sampler Company and the SAL are down below in the show notes. So that is part 2 and part 3 started. Next is continuing work on Positivity Rules by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. I'll insert a picture here. This is going to be a gift stitch. It was one of my stitches, my new starts for this year. It's going to be a gift stitch, and I'd like it to be ready for June, middle of June time really, end of June at the very latest. And I love it. I love stitching fonts. I love stitching wording. I love the bright colors. It's just a happy stitch. So I'm making nice progress on this. This is on a 16 count Ada that I hand dyed myself deliberately to get a cloudy look. It looks much more blotchy on the camera, and it does look softer and cloudier in real life. I don't know why the camera picks that up quite so strongly, but it's a lovely wide weave of 16 count, so it makes a nice change from sometimes from smaller count stitching, and I think it looks good on this blue background. So that is Positivity Rules. Then I have finished now part 10 of Ros Clarke Crafts SAL, which is called A Celebration of Colour. If you haven't come across this, then I heartily recommend it. It is a free SAL that Ros has put together for us, all about colour. And it's not just that there's a pattern release every week. There's a pattern release, and it's a 12 parts, so we've just 2 parts left to go. And for the duration of the SAL, this is free. So if you are interested, you can go and get those free patterns now for the SAL, because it will be available after the SAL, but it will be a charged pattern then. So this is Celebration of Colour, and we have been gradually building up the framework, the border and the yellow border framework, and adding in colours, and you can see how it's all starting to come together. Ros also supports this SAL with a weekly video relating to the colour that is of that week, or to a topic about colour. And her latest couple have been absolutely fantastic. They're all really, really good and really fascinating, introducing me to things I never knew about, to artists I never heard of. Absolutely fabulous. So I heartily recommend it, and it has been such a fun SAL to be part of. It has been such a fun mystery to be part of. I don't always love mystery SALs, but this one has been really great. And Ros has put in so much effort and so much hard work to this. So huge thanks to Ros for all of that. And I'm really looking forward to finishing parts 11 and 12 too. There we go. Then I have some new starts. So, oh no. No, I have one more. Let me check. Yeah, I have one more whip to share with you, and you'll be amazed, absolutely stunned and amazed. This is my full coverage whip, Woman in the Field of Flowers by Ada Rosa. And the chart is charted by Stitches So Beautiful on Etsy. So I love this pattern, and I'm giving it a go to my first big, proper, probably full coverage. And it's only a very small start so far and doesn't look hugely different from the last time you saw it. But I promised that I would keep showing it every time and you'll see incremental progress. So I have another 360 odd stitches down in this area, filling in greens. And we do actually have some full block, 10 square blocks up here now. So yeah, it's moving along. There's not a lot to say about it yet. Okay, now we can move on to some starts. So this year, as you know, I am working on a celebratory project for my 50th year with Sally of FlossySewsandGrows. We have decided that we will do 50 starts to celebrate our birthday year. And so far we are both really enjoying it, and we have kind of around 13, 14. Sally has probably a couple more than me, but I have now 14 new starts for the year. And my latest two, numbers 13 and 14, I'm going to share with you now. This one is the Peacock Tree by Modern Folk Embroidery. Beautiful design. Now I chose this start doesn't actually meet any of the prompts on our list of 83 viewer prompts for our year, for our Fun for 50 SAL 2024. Believe it or not, of the 83 suggestions that you guys gave, I couldn't find one that this one fit into. But what it does is it allows me to participate in a SAL with Carmen at Cardamom Pins. Carmen wanted to host a SAL called the Jacob Sleeper SAL. Jacob de Graaf is the designer at Modern Folk Embroidery, and Carmen wanted to encourage us all to look at the sleeper patterns of Jacob's catalogue. So the ones that we don't see so much, the ones that don't get as much attention or haven't done in recent years. Because obviously if you're around, if you know Modern Folk Embroidery, you'll know that he does the yearly SAL or the countdown boxes that he does with Evertote, or the Salentines that he's just done with Evertote. And those patterns have huge traction in our cross-stitching community, but there are many, many patterns in his catalogue and we don't see some of them so much. So Carmen from Cardamom Pins wanted us to go and have a look and choose a pattern that we don't see stitched so much, and use that in her Jacob Sleeper SAL. So that is why I've started the Peacock Tree, and I know a couple of you have started along with me, so that's really great fun too. So this is the beautiful design, and here is my start. So it looks nice, yes, but it's not what I expected it to be. So I'm trying to adjust to the reality versus the expectations of it. This is my start number 13 of 50. And where it isn't meeting my expectations is just in the thread color really. And I'm trying to find, here we go. So I ordered this thread, which is called Peacock, and it's Weeks Dye Works thread. So let me see if I can hold it like this for you. Now I think that even kind of here you can see there's a kind of peacock. I mean, it's very, very dark, okay? I didn't expect it to be quite so dark, but looking at it even sideways on here, I can see the bluey green, I can see variegation in the thread, I can see the colours that I wanted this to be. But when I see it stitched here, that's not what I see. So I don't know quite what is happening, but I don't see this color down here. Down here, it looks much more black or bottle green. It doesn't have the variegation, even though I am stitching one stitch at a time, one X at a time. So I'm kind of adjusting my expectations. I guess I wanted that kind of shimmery blue, petrol, peacock, bluey green color. And maybe I've just gone a shade too dark. But anyway, it will look grand. It looks lovely. It's just, you know how sometimes it's not what you were anticipating. So I need to just adjust my expectations. But it's been a very nice stitch, as Jacob's patterns always are. It's been lovely to stitch. So I'm looking forward to picking this one up here and there to keep going with the cardamom pin SAL. There's no end date for that SAL, so you are able to go ahead and join in now. You haven't missed anything. Just choose a pattern that you would consider to be a sleeper, one of Jacob's sleepers, his less well known or less viewed patterns, perhaps is the way to put it, and stitch it and share it with us and share it with Carmen using her hashtag #JacobSleeperSal. So that is my contribution to the Jacob Sleeper SAL. My first one. I don't know, maybe if I even get it finished, maybe I'll do another one because I really love the idea of this SAL. So that is the Peacock Tree. Now start number 14 is another Jacob pattern. You know I can't do a year of 50 starts without including lots of Jacob patterns in. So let me just get this one. I need the board back to switch these over. So this next one is my start number 14, and Sally and I have started this one together. This is the pattern that was our retreat pattern at the Stitch in London retreat in October 2023, so just last October. And this is Modern Folk Embroidery, 10 Merry Sailors and Their Loyal Dog. This was our retreat kit pattern. And Marie had made these up for us in a lovely little kit with some vintage country mocha in the count of our choice. I chose the 40 count linen, and the floss that was provided was from Roxy Floss Co, and it's a beautiful floss called Great Lakes. It's a beautiful dark blue. You're not seeing it at its best here tonight. It's a beautiful, beautiful deep blue. So this is my start, and I'm pretty pleased with this. My 40 count stitching is slower than my normal stitching, but I do like it. I have to have all the lights, all the magnification, everything going to make it happen, but I do really like it. So you can see that I have made a start on the boat. I made an error in the boat. So it is a stitch wider on this side than it should be, which is why I put the wording underneath and tried to go across the side while I remembered that the error was there, because if I leave this aside now for a couple of weeks and come back to it, I'll forget. So now I have put a note in the bag to say, don't count off the ship, count off the border for anything else that comes on this side. But it really isn't worth unpicking. I don't think that anyone will notice in the end. It just a little error in the counting while I was going. But I think I made quite a good start for 2 nights of stitching. I'm actually surprised I got this far. It is really lovely to stitch. There is something about Jacob's designs, the ones that I would normally choose to stitch, that they just flow for me. Yeah, they do. They just flow for me. I think there's just something that clicks in my brain Obviously, except that I can't count the width of a boat, but but yeah, generally speaking, there's something that clicks in my brain and it just makes them so pleasurable. So as I said, Sally and I both started this together, and we started it on the 15th of March in honour of our friend Just So Sherry, who you may know here on Flosstube, because Sherry is also a 1974 baby and it was her birthday on the 15th of March. So very happy birthday, Sherry. I hope you had a great day, and this was stitched in your honour. Sally and I started this in your honour. So congratulations. And I hope that you're having a fabulous year. I know you have some plans yourself for your 50th stitching, and I look forward to seeing those on your Flosstube in the days to come, the episodes ahead. Okay, so that is all of my stitching. Now I can tell you a little, oh no, let's go back. Sorry. I should tell you that 10 Merry Sailors meets some of your viewer prompts. I forgot to say that, sorry guys. So it meets prompt 29, which was suggested by Karen at the Stitching Owl, that we start a project with Roxy Floss. So as I said, this has beautiful Roxy Floss Great Lakes. Oh look, there you can see the blue, it's beautiful. Should have held it closer before. So thank you for that suggestion, Karen, and Sally and I are both doing that courtesy of our retreat kit. Okay, now I can tell you about my plans. So continuing the starts for our Fun for 50 2024 SAL. I have one more planned for March, and that will be started on Monday the 25th, and that is the Pride and Prejudice from Stitch Rovia. I have shown you this before and told you it was coming up, but it will be Monday the 25th of March when I start this. So I know several of you wanted to stitch this along with me. It's not a huge chart, so I'm hoping that this might be one that gets not finished in the week that I start or anything, but you know, finished sooner rather than later. So it would be a nice one if you're interested to stitch along with us or with me. That doesn't commit you to anything huge. So that will be my last start for March. And then I've got my April plans to share with you. So there are 5 Mondays in April, and I plan to have a start on each of those Mondays. First is Stitch Some Happy from Hands On Design. I had given you a sneak peek of this a little while ago and said it would be coming up in future months. So I know a couple of you have purchased this and would like to stitch it along with me. So this will be my first start on the first Monday in April, which I believe is the 1st of April. Stitch Some Happy by Hands On Design. And then on the 8th of April, Sally and I plan to start this one together. We are trying to do approximately one a month. It might not work out at every month, particularly over the summer, but approximately one of our starts a month will be a shared start, one that we both stitch the same thing just for the fun of it. And our April joint start is going to be Little House Needleworks Schoolgirl Lessons, which is a cute sampler. Again, this would be another lovely one for you to join with us. It's not huge. I think it's about 57 by 87 or something like that. Let me just check. Yeah, 59 by 87. And it has all the things. The house, the girl, an ABC without the whole alphabet, a few lovely words, reading, writing, stitching, a tree, and a cute little border. So perfect little sampler. So if you fancy joining us, we'll be starting this on the 8th of April. Don't worry if you can't make that date, just stitch along with us at some time. If it's lurking in your stash, crying to be let out and stitched, pull it now, this is the time. Okay, then on the 15th, I am going to start, I'm about to get this out, but there's no point because it's a chart and I can't show you a chart. So I will try to insert a picture here. This pattern is by Marie-Thérèse Saint-Aubin, and it is a freebie on Casa Senina. I will link it below if you're interested. But this interests me because it's an umbrella chart. I did share this with you back when I did a stash spotlight for my umbrella charts. And this one was recommendation from Ros Clarke. She had said that she knew of this chart. It's an umbrella one. She knows I love umbrella charts. So I am going to stitch it for this year's part of this year's 50 starts, and that will be on the 15th of April. So I'm looking forward to that one. This one will then be the 22nd of April, and it is by Frog Cottage Designs, and it's called the Prim Alphabet Sampler. So I love this. I love Deb's designs, Deb at Frog Cottage Designs. I love her work. And I've had this for quite a while hanging around in my stash. I love that it goes across the alphabet and then just introduces words, you know, at the, you know, where F comes, where L comes, where T comes, where W comes. I love them. I love words. I just love it. And of course there's red in it too, which I love as well. So if you have this, or if you would like to get this and stitch along with me, it would be lovely to have you join us. This is Prim Alphabet Sampler by Frog Cottage Designs. I will link as much as I possibly can down below, given that I have a character allowance that I can't exceed down below, but if I can link the pattern, I will. If I can't link it, I will at least put the name of the pattern and the designer so that you can search for it yourself. And my last planned start for April is another modern folk embroidery. It's another pattern that has been hanging around in my stash for quite some time. It is, I believe, a freebie. I hope I'm not wrong. But I think it's a freebie on Jacob's Modern Folk Embroidery website, and it's called Light a Single Candle. I was getting nervous about this one because I had ordered a piece of fabric to stitch this and another future project on the same color of fabric, and it has taken 4 months for the fabric to come, and I was getting nervous that it wasn't going to come on time because I had this start planned for April, but it came last week, so that's really, really exciting. It came and it's beautiful and it's fine. I didn't actually need it until now, and thank goodness it's here. So I will share all that with you when I get to the start. But again, this would be another nice one for you to stitch along with me if you haven't already stitched it. It's again not a huge commitment. I have tried to keep a number of my charts to the smaller side simply so that I can cope with 50 starts. There are some really big ones coming much later in the year. I think I need to work myself up to them. That is if I stick with them anyway, but we'll see. And as before, today I've showed you all of the April starts that are planned, and next video I'll give you a little sneak peek of something else that's coming, you know, along the line, further down the line. I already did share with you that Le Petit Chaperon Rouge will be coming up, and I think at the moment that she is planned for sometime in May. So if you're interested in joining with this one, then you could be getting ready and go ahead and start it before me. The date itself doesn't matter hugely. It's just the fun of sharing together in this year. And if you want to stitch along with us in celebration of Sally and I's 50 start celebration, you can start anything you like, anything at all, and just join with us to share the fun of this little adventure we're having. So don't worry if you don't like any of our patterns, just start something yourself and you can use the hashtag and hopefully we'll see it. Please tag us in at Sarah, at SewMeSarah and at FlossySewsandGrows onto your Instagram picture. If you don't have Instagram and you're not able to share with us that way, I'm very happy for you to email me pictures if you want to share them, to join in and to show us that you're joining in. So feel free to do that as well. Anyway, that is really all that I have to tell you for the Fun for 50 2024 SAL for this time. As well as that, there are plans just to keep the other whips ticking as much as I can, especially the positivity rules one, which is for a gift. The other SAL that I haven't shown you today is Enchanted Realms, and that's the caterpillar cross stitch SAL. I didn't show it today because there hasn't been a new part release, but that will be released I think next week. So that should be in my next batch of stitching to share with you. We have 4 parts of that left, so this will be part 3. And yeah, just trying to keep as much as I can going, in spite of life. We're all doing that, aren't we? We're all juggling, and the stitching keeps me sane, even if this year it's a little bit crazy. But I'm thoroughly enjoying it, panicking very slightly, just mildly about the number of things I now have started that aren't getting attention, but I can do it. Okay, let me move on. I don't have any quilting or other sewing to share with you. The last few weeks, my quilting morning is normally Friday morning when I would do some patchwork blocks and things, but I would say the last month has been bereft of any of that kind of sewing, mainly because of life. I've had appointments. We're looking at new school arrangements for Charlotte, and there's been a lot to do with that, and I obviously try to make those appointments on a day when I'm not working, which is the better option. So it does mean that I have to sacrifice my sewing time, but there you go. We all make the sacrifices. So that's why you haven't seen any update on any of the patchwork blocks, because there hasn't been any. So hopefully I'll get back to that again, but we'll just take it as it comes. Anyway, let me tell you a little bit about how we can get connected as a community. This is a little section that I do just to share with you something that I've spotted out there in our community that would allow you to make a connection, to join in with. That might be someone's Zoom group or SAL or Facebook group, or a challenge that someone is doing. And I wanted to provide a way, I wanted to share with you the different ways that I come across. So the one that I have come across most recently is from Beth at Be More Creative. That's BEE More Creative. She is a floss tuber here on YouTube, and she has picked up the market cookbook, the Nashville Needlework Market Cookbook, and she is planning to do a SAL with the patterns that are in the cookbook. Now, I am fascinated by this. I won't be able to join in because, you know, I got too many other things going, but many of you will have that cookbook, I know, and I thought this might interest you. So her plan is to stitch the charts from the cookbook, some of them, I don't mean necessarily all of them, and she's going to use the hashtag Stitch the Cookbook 2024. Stitch the Cookbook 2024. If you're interested, I really recommend that you go over to her channel and listen to what she has to say about the SAL. I will make a note of Beth's channel name down below so that you can find her. I think it's a great idea, and as I said, I'm fascinated by it because we out here don't get to see the patterns that are in the cookbook unless we buy it. So as someone who hasn't bought it, I'd love to see what's in there, and the only way I could do that without buying it, is to see them stitched. So you guys need to stitch them all, share them on Beth's SAL, and then I'll be able to see what was in there just out of curiosity. So I do believe that there are great patterns in the cookbook, and I think that would be a really nice, fun way to kind of surprise the rest of us who haven't purchased the cookbook and don't know what the patterns are, because there aren't any pictures of the finished items in the cookbook that we have been able to see. So I think that's a great way for you to connect if you like SALs. And again, there's no pressure, there's no specific start date, there's no specific end date. It's just hop in, join in, stitch something from the cookbook. So you can go and try that if that's something that interests you. And just to finish, now I will tell you one special thing. Now this time my one special thing is a Flosstube channel, and this channel is Stitching with Charly Feathers. I will put her name down below just in case I've said it wrongly, because now I'm doubting myself. But Stitches with Charly Feathers, she is so close to 1,000 subscribers. I have mentioned her before. She is such a gentle spirit, such a creative, artistic person, and her floss tubes are just lovely. Most recently, she has 2 episodes out. I think it's episode 19, part 1 and part 2. She has big whip parades, huge haul and stitchy kindness to share on a second part, and I really enjoyed them all. And I have to say, I was really surprised to find that Charly is still under 1,000 subscribers, because more of our cross-stitching community needs to know about her, and I'm just really surprised that that her numbers didn't go a little bit higher. But she's about 18 subscribers away from 1K, and I bet there are some of you out there who would love her channel and who could subscribe to help push her numbers up. And while it's not always a numbers game, being at 1,000 subscribers does give us some kind of Flosstube nudge in the right direction, and Flosstube algorithms start to feature us a little bit more prominently in some of their recommendations to others on the channels. So it would be helpful to Charly's channel, but you will benefit from watching, because she has beautiful ideas. She is, as I said, so gentle and kind and humble as a spirit, that you will really enjoy watching her. So go and check her out and don't miss her channel. All right, I think, to quote Looney Tunes, that's all, folks. I will hopefully be back with you just after Easter. I hope. Easter weekend is when I should probably be recording, but it's not going to happen. I've got guests Easter weekend, and yeah, it's just going to be busy. So hopefully maybe the week after Easter I will be back on track, and we'll get things back to their normal kind of fortnightly recording. But in the meantime, I hope that if you celebrate Easter, that you will have a wonderful time. If you celebrate with family, if you celebrate with your church, then I just hope that Easter will touch your hearts and souls in whatever way you need it to. And I hope that you'll find some time to rest and maybe even get a little bit of stitching in. So I know that that's what I'm looking forward to too. So until next time, folks, please stay well and stitch happy. Bye.